Okay, welcome back. So we're going to work on the deformation here. Again, I just want to change something slightly. I just want to turn off these Alt keys because we had them on accidentally and it was causing some issues. Now the thing that we want to do here is we want to deform these rings onto the barrel using a proxy object. So let's first of all create that proxy object. It's going to be just a cylinder. I'm going to go to edit mode and I'm going to scale it down. Now it has to be about the size of the rings. So let's scale up just a little bit. Get it pretty much exact size of the rings. Also want it to be a bit taller than the barrel. And the reason for that is the way it's going to deform is it's going to pull all the verts towards the centre of the object and then they're going to hit the surface point on the actual barrel and stop. So these ones at the top, they're actually going to be pulled down the way. So I don't need it in line with the barrel, I need it a little bit higher. Because these are going to pull these rings down the way as well, we're going to actually have to go in and move the rings slightly. Let's grab these rings and just move them up. Select those ones and grab these ones and move them down. The middle ones, I think I'll just keep where they are. We can always adjust some things later on. If we do everything with the modifiers still active, we should have the ability to tweak things without too much issue. So we've got the proxy object here. Now the rings here are slightly outside the proxy object. I'm not sure if that's actually going to work or not. We'll find that out in a moment. One thing I might want to do is just go in these a little bit more. Try and get the centre of this object. Be right in the centre. Let's just set the origin to the centre of volume. I think actually we don't want it set to the centre of volume. Do we want it set to the centre of surface? No. Into geometry? No. I think we'll actually just change the origin to the 3D cursor moment. We'll just hope this works okay. Okay, so we're going to deform this cylinder to the barrel. Now the cylinder itself actually needs some more geometry. We need a lot of edges up the side so that it actually deforms very nicely. We'll add a bunch in. I'm not too worried about how many we actually have there. Let's add a modifier to this. Let's add a shrink wrap to it. And we'll grab this high poly barrel and it's conforming pretty much directly to that barrel. Pretty much working perfectly. Let's grab these rings and we're going to add a modifier to them. Let's grab a lattice first of all and move this up. And we can actually use an object for the lattice. So we're going to select object. Now the object we want to select is the cylinder, but it's not letting us select that. So let's see if we can click on the cylinder itself, figure out why. Probably because we already have a modifier here, so let's turn that off. And we'll click on this again, and no, in this case it's not letting us select that, so we can't use a lattice modifier. Let's try surface deform modifier. And we'll move this up. In this case we can select the cylinder. And we'll bind that. That seems to have bound pretty easily there. Let's now add that shrink wrap modifier. Like that barrel high. And it seems to have worked pretty well. Let's look at solid mode. And yet we can see that our rings are pretty much deformed directly onto our barrel. But right near the top, and they actually look pretty good. The only thing is they're a little bit off centre. That's just because the barrel is a little bit of a strange shape, so there's some areas where it's a little bit off centre, but we can definitely tweak those a little bit. Now what we can do is we can tweak offset a little bit. And you can see that we're actually dragging the whole cylinder with us. Now, we don't want to undo that. What we do want to do is hide this barrel, this cylinder object. We can look at things a little bit easier. Let's offset this just a little bit. think to about there would be good. And you can see how these rings are actually following the barrel really nicely, even where it's a little bit uneven and not exactly round, it's actually following it pretty nicely. Now I want to make sure there's no areas where it's really obvious that it's inside the geometry, and I think that's actually pretty good. So there we have it, we have our rings bound onto our object. Now what I do want to do is I want to just tweak the UVs on this. Now I'm going to apply my shrink wrap modifier, and I'm also going to apply this surface deformation modifier. Now if I go into edit mode now and select all these rings, I want to go into a UV image editor. I did that in the bottom instead of the top, that's okay, that's not a problem. I'm going to hit E to re-unwrap those. Let's hit T and go to options, or tools in this case. I'm going to average the island scale, I'm going to pack these islands. And if we go to our tool shelf here, open up this plus, and we can just change the margin on these a little bit. Try and make the best use of space. So a lot of these are very curved, and well, it's obvious why they're curved. We have these all at angles now, so it just makes more sense for these to be curved. I'd have preferred to keep them straight, to be honest, but it's not a massive issue. They look pretty good from here. So there we have it, we have our rings set up. The only thing we want to do now is add our little studs in, so let's just do that very, very quickly. So the way I'm going to do this is just go to object mode. I'll just add in. Let's see, we want to add in an ecosphere. We'll just create a really nice big one, and then we'll move it into place. So I'm going to add 4 subdivisions on this. We'll create it smooth. Go to edit mode. I'm going to select half of this object. Let's use border select to unselect a bunch of these. We'll delete those faces off. I'm going to select an edge. I'm just going to extrude it a little bit. We'll select everything, scale it down, and the z-axis. This flat little surface, and actually just scale it down. Zoom in, move it down into place. Actually, before I move that down into place, let's go back to object mode. Right, let's stick in edit mode. I want to move it down close to this origin. Again, scale this down some more, get it about the right size, so probably around about here. I want to now rotate this in object mode, x-axis. Look in the top view, let's go to solid mode, do all this in mode now. This is the tricky part, we want to get this in line. So let's take this around and try and get it close to the surface. Again, probably a wee bit here. Doesn't matter if it's poking into the surface a little bit, that's fine. Scale this down a little bit more. Move this a little bit, and I think that's actually okay. So what I'll do is I'll use that same technique just to apply these to all these other parts, and also in a couple of positions around the barrel. And I'll just do that between videos.